Hello everyone and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 gameplay cast with me, Thendis32. Now if you have not seen Game 1 or Game 2, I recommend, if you haven't seen, this is Game 2. If you haven't seen Game 1, get out. This is your last chance before I give you spoilers. Alright? It's your last chance. For those of you that did see it, Cechi with a very nice decisive victory takes game number 1 in this best of 3 of the Golden Cup. This is not live. This cup happened on Saturday, which as you can see I did live cast. So let us introduce our players. Spawning as the red human. He's down, but he's not out. It is Hawk. And his opponent, spawning as the light blue undead. He's up 1-0 in this best of 3. It's Cechi. Human versus undead here on Nomad Isle. Ancient Isle. No, it's Nomad Isle. It's just not my day, is it, boys? Anyway, by the looks of things, Cechi once again gonna do that Ted Fiend build. It's a pretty solid build that undead players like to do versus human. It allows them to get that early Death Knight out. It allows them to get the harass, get some good scouting information with it, and a quicker tech. And a little bit of bad luck coming here for Cechi, as his Acolyte did scout in the wrong direction, as there is 3 possible spots you can spawn at. So he won't get the scouting information quite right away. And it looks like Hawk's going to change it up a little bit from game 1, as we do see a Mountain King as his first hero choice. And if you guys have seen Cechi stream at all, you know how much he loves Mountain King first. I'm not going to go into it because I'm unbiased as a caster, but you should watch Cechi stream and ask him how he feels about Mountain King first. Anyway, on this map, human players can get a pretty easy, fast expansion down, should Hawk want to try to do that. Most of the time, human players also like to militia creep their merc camp, and I have seen him do this Null Overseer camp. Alright, so now Cechi knows where Hawk spawned. He's got his Death Knight out, picks up a Rod of Necromancy, and quickly moves out. Alright, Hawk looks like he will be militia creeping the merc camp. It'll give him some early access to the mercenaries, such as the Troll Shadow Priest. There he is. And maybe even the Troll Berserker later on. Alright, Cechi's Acolyte does scout this creeping. Prep to Vitality, pretty nice item, makes that Mountain King pretty tanky. And Cechi deciding not to harass. Looks like he's going to use the skeletal minions and creep out this Goblin Merchant camp. And it looks like it's pretty effective creeping. Tier 2 has just started for Cechi. Like I said, you get a pretty quick tech with this build. Troll Shadow Priest, regenerating the health of that Mountain King. One thing about Mountain King first is, when you're creeping, you don't have that water elemental to tank for you. Level 200 Death Knight, getting some Sentry Wards. Might be able to place him down, get some good map vision. As he did send a Skeletal Scout, trying to see if an expansion was being taken. And by the looks of it, Hawk, once again, will be going for that fast expansion, as he does pull the Militia. And Cechi with the Sentry Ward does see this going on. He knows what's happening. Alright, it's going in. Oh, he's waiting for the coil. Coil onto the Shadow Priest. It wasn't enough to kill it, but the Skeletal Minion will get the last hit. Gloves of Haste was the item. Drop from the Renegade Wizard. He might lose a Militia. He does lose a Militia. Level 3 onto the Mountain King, so he does have that level 2 Stormbolt. And Cechi wisely backing off, because if that Mountain King could get a Stormbolt off, he could get a surround on the Death Knight, and forcing him to use the TP. Alright, we got Fiends being produced right away for Cechi. So he is going to need him to push this expansion, and maybe hold off any footman run-bys on his Acolytes. Death Knight running about, Hawk sending in a footman scout, trying to see what's what. So we do have the guard tower on the way to defend this expo, and then he's going to start the town hall. And then he's gonna start the town hall. And then he's gonna start the town hall. There he is. There it is. Oh, nice use of the fiends here for Cechi, creeping this green spot with him. Because when they are on the plague, they do regenerate health. Death Knight still running around. Slaughterhouse on the way, and Cechi's at tier 2, and we do see a Lich as the second hero choice. Meanwhile, in the base of Hawk, his tech to tier 2 will be delayed due to the quick expansion. So he's going to have to rely on those towers to defend. As it gets to the point where the footmen just aren't good anymore. And believe me, you don't have to be that far in the game for that point to happen. Alright, Skeletal Scout scouting and seeing that there's an army right outside his base. Hawk maybe trying to do a bit of a pressure, because if he keeps checking his base and defends his base, Cechi won't be able to attack his expansion. Like I always say in this matchup, the best defense is a good offense. That's why humans love their footmen run-bys when they expand. Alright, Stormbolt onto the Fiend, but the Fiend is quickly frost shielded and coiled. It is very common for undead players to get frost shield first, but this creep's kinda risky. I'm not sure why Cechi pulled the creeps. Hawk is still around here. This creep's a little bit greedy. Stormbolt onto the wolf, but it was not enough to kill it. Lightning Shield Fiend keeping tabs. Mountain King trying to run in here again. He wants to get that Stormbolt kill. He's got enough for more Stormbolts. Another wizard goes down. Hawk desperately wants this kill. He desperately wants it. Can he get it? Alright, we do see statues on the way here for Cechi and a tech to tier 3. And Circle Nobility was the item. Might want to switch it out to the Lich. That item's pretty nice on the Lich. Meanwhile, more defensive towers on the way for Hawk, and a tech to tier 2 has been started. Alright, Stormbolt onto a Fiend as he is coiled and burrowed. Frost Shield going down onto the Death Knight. It looks like Cechi might try to apply some pressure onto the expansion of Hawk. That Mountain King's got to be pretty careful. Hawk is not at tier 2, so he does not have any mana potions. I mean, healing potions. Oh, he doesn't have mana potions either. Alright, Frost Shield's going down. Stormbolt onto the Fiend. He will be Frost Shielded and coiled. And it looks like Hawk forced to pull more Militia. And the Death Knight very close to level 3. Cechi's trying to wait so he can get that level 2 Death Coil. And this Militia kill should give it to him. There it is. And there's the coil, fully healing that Fiend. Alright, tower's being cancelled. Cechi applying more pressure. Hawk still not at tier 2, so he's got to be careful with that Mountain King. Doesn't have any healing potions quite yet. Almost does, though. Cechi trying to deny more towers. The less towers, the better it will be for him. Coil onto the Lich. That Lich is tanking quite a bit. Needs to be careful. Level 2 on the Lich. So now he has Frost Nova. Frost Nova Death Coil. Oh, I thought that was on the Mountain King. I was about to flip out. Alright, Stormbolt onto the Fiend. Oh, Fiend goes down as the Death Knight was about to coil. Alright, Hawk is at tier 2. We do see a Blood Mage as the second hero choice. So he's going to get some Banish, maybe some Siphon mana. We do see the Masonry upgrade, giving more hit points and armor to human buildings, aka the towers. Alright, defended Fiends trying to do better. Looks like Cechi might try to apply some pressure at Hawk's main base. Meanwhile, we do see tier 3. We do see double Slaughterhouse, Destroyer upgrade on the way, along with Meat Wagons. Oh, that Mountain King needs to be so careful. Oh, the obscene statue getting surrounded by the militia. Nice pick off by Hawk. Ooh. Alright, we do see Muddy the Mug going for all you Back to Warcraft fans out there. Alright, Stormbolt going down to Fiend. Fiend will be coiled. The militia is surrounding another Fiend. He does go down. Blood Mage is out in the fight. Siphon mana. So Cechi's got to be careful. Doesn't want his mana drained away. That does mean no more nuke. No more healing of units. Cechi doing a nice job though, kiting at Hawk's army. And the Blood Mage giving more mana. Mountain King full of mana yet again. More Stormbolts. Slow going down onto the Lich, who is getting his mana drained. Quite a bit of his mana drained, actually. Alright, and Death Knight getting some drain too. More slows going down. Might going to go down. The Fiend burrowing and coil just in time, but the Dust of Appearance. And the Fiend will go down. Alright, we do see Destroyers on the way now. And there's Hawk. He has no way to fight these Destroyers. He's going to have to fight by the towers. And we see a quick tech to tier 3 on the way for Hawk, along with double Arcane Sanctums. Cechi does scout the tier 3. Meat Wagon getting caught in a little bit of a bad spot. Siphon mana onto the Lich again. Militia being pulled. Stormbolt onto a Fiend. Fiend is coiled though. Death Knight has one more coil in him unless the Blood Mage siphons the mana. Burrow on the Fiend. The last charge of dust is used. Oh, and the Fiend shot kills the Berserker. More and more Destroyers on the way for Cechi. Siphon mana going down again. A lot of good micro here from both players. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. He is frost shielded. And his mana is being drained. Death Knight still has one coil in his system. Another Stormbolt from the Mountain King. How many more does he have left? Plenty, as the Blood Mage gives him more mana. But Coil Nova takes down the Blood Mage. Level 3 on the Lich. Oh, another Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. The Death Knight needs to be really careful. The Mountain King is out of mana, though. Oh, as the Mountain King's getting focused down. How much mana? No nuke on either of the undead heroes. So the Mountain King will be able to get away with his life. Blood Mage about halfway out of the altar. He was at level 1. Level 1 heroes take about 30 seconds to resurrect, I believe. Oh, another Stormbolt onto Death Knight. Cechi's got to be so careful here. As the Mountain King does have a mana pot. Is he going to try to use it? Using the mana pot. Stormbolt, but the TP. Cechi with the nice bolt dodge. And gets the Footman at the last second. Alright, now we see double Workshops and double Arcane Sanctums, so Hawk might try to transition into tanks later on. Definitely going to want some gyros to deal with those Destroyers. And meanwhile, Cechi is at tier 3, but he has no orb. No Orb of Corruption on the Lich quite yet, and that's a lot of DPS he's missing out on. So the Lich just desperately needs that orb. Blood Mage almost at level 2. Will be able to get Banish, which will make the Mountain King's Stormbolts much stronger. But if Cechi can time it right, it'll also make his Death Coils heal more. So Banish is kind of a two-way street kind of spell. Oh, Obsidian Statue getting caught out, but the Mountain King's pretty low. Not sure why Cechi didn't try to nuke it. Level 4 on the Death Knight with a potion of invulnerability now. Cechi with that backpack upgrade. I wonder.
A town is under siege.
Alright, Cechi trying to kill some farms. If he can kill these farms, he'll actually supply Black Hawk, and Hawk won't be able to make any units.
The player's forces are under attack.
Oh, Nova onto the Mountain King. Mountain King's pretty close to level 4. Hawk is supply cap. No more units coming out of him. It's 54 supply for Hawk versus 60 of Cechi. Both players are supply cap though. Alright, Mountain King getting focused down. Gyro's coming in. Alright, but the Fiends do have web. And Gyro's focused down. Stormbolt onto a Fiend. Fiend is coiled though. Alright, Fiend being burrowed, but keep in mind, gyros see invisible units, level 4 in the Mountain King. So with these gyros around, Fiends can no longer hide with the burrow. Alright, Cechi continuing to put some pressure. It's 0-0 upgrades versus 1-0 for gyros. Alright, Siphon Man onto the Death Knight. Destroyer's taking loads of damage. 2 of them goes down. 3 goes down. But the Coil Nova, the Mount King, barely surviving. And Cechi is trying to do something. It's 52 supply versus 62. A lot of that supply is in gyros. And once all the destroyers are dead, the gyros aren't really that much of a threat. Staff Sanctuary being used on the Spellbreaker. That Spellbreaker is going to slowly heal up. And without the Orb of Corruption, this Lich is lacking so much damage. Alright, Siphon Man onto the Death Knight again. We'll use that Vulnerability Potion. Coil Nova onto the Mountain King. And Hawk is forced to TP out. Hawk yet again supply capped. All of his farms, well, a lot of his farms going down. Mountain King still pretty low in health. Stormbolt onto a Fiend. Prefer to Vitality was switched over to the Mountain King, giving him just a little boost in health. Siphon Man onto the Lich again. Fiend is burrowed. The gyros aren't in range, but they are moving in the range. Fiend goes down. Oh, that Blood Mage, Staff Sanctuary will save the Blood Mage. Oh, the Mountain Kings needs to be so careful. The Blood Mage can't move. Keep in mind, until he's fully healed, he's stuck there. So maybe Cechi can try to get a snipe, but the Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich with his Orb of Corruption now. Death Knight has a coil, will use it on the Lich. Gyros with the Flying Bomb upgrade. They can now attack ground units. They don't do that much damage though. Cechi even adding some ghouls in the mix. Blood Mage back in the fight. Siphon Mana going down. Another Fiend going down as well. And Cechi's relying on his heroes and a couple A-bombs here so far. Gyros focusing down the destroyers. They will get one. Siphon Mana going down onto the Lich. Alright, Blood Mage giving more mana to the Mountain King. Cechi still trying to hold on here. 51 supply versus 66. Alright, we do say Paladin is the third hero choice for Cechi, but Cechi might try to kill the Altar and deny the Paladin. He's running straight into Hawk space, gonna try to get some peasant kills. And the Blood Mage with level 3 now has that level 2 Siphon. So there's a lot of mana gonna be drained out of those undead heroes as the Stormbolt goes on the A-bomb. Alright, the Death Knight does have a mana pot, so even if his mana gets drained, he might get a surprise coil in. Alright, Coil Nova kills the Mountain King, level 4 on the Lich. Like I said, they didn't even need the mana pot. So without the Mountain King, that's a lot of DPS out of Hawk's army. He needs that Stormbolt. Paladin is going to be out though, but level 1 Holy Light's not going to do much here. Banish onto the A-bombs. Paladin is out. Alright, Siphon Mana onto the Death Knight. A mana pot being used. Coil onto the Abomination. But another Siphon Mana. Death Knight still has one coil in him. Long range coil, saving the Abomination. Holy Light going down onto the Spellbreaker. Paladin's about halfway down on health. Mountain King's being resurrected the old-fashioned way. Level 4 is going to take a little while. Nova onto the Paladin. He goes down. Level 5 on a Death Knight. He has no mana though. So that level 3 Death Coil won't come into play quite yet. And things are not looking good for Hawk. Cechi with a tight-fisted offensive here. Oh, and he's gonna try to cancel the Mountain King. If he can get a kill on the altar, that would be huge. That would probably be game-breaking. Hawk trying his best. He can't allow him to kill the altar. Fiend's gonna burrow. There's no gyros around. Coil onto the Blood Mage. Oh, but the Death Knight's chasing him down. He's not gonna get it. And things are not looking good for Hawk as his units are dropping one by one. Militia being pulled. This is Hawk's last defense on the Blood Mage. Getting chased down. Will he live? Oh, and the Long Range Coil saving the Lich. A lot of peasants going down. Burrow onto the Fiend. The Mountain King is almost out though, but so many units are dropping. Level 5 onto the Lich. Alright, Siphon Mana going down onto the Lich. Oh, the mana pot, but he doesn't need it. Blood Mage goes down. Mountain King's back up, but the coil saves the Lich. And GG's called. Cechi wins this best of 3 2-0. If you like this game, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to watch me play Warcraft 3, follow me at Twitch at Dennis32. And I'll catch you all later.